So it was what? Like almost 10, 15 years ago, somewhere around there. Probably like almost 10 years ago. There was this game that caught my attention. One of the best MMOs ever. You know, some people say it was the first. It wasn't the first. But nonetheless, it was one of the best. And that's called EverQuest. Now, when EverQuest came out, it had me hooked. It had me hooked to the far point where I literally could not get up. I would get, like, I did not want to leave the computer. It happened again sometime around 5 years later, 4 to 5 years later, when World of Warcraft came out. Now, I saw World of Warcraft coming out, and I knew that it was going to be something big. And at the time, I was playing Final Fantasy 11 at the time, and a lot of people were like, you know, I was telling a lot of people I was going to play World of Warcraft, and it was like, no, dude, that's gonna be corny compared to EverQuest or compared to Final Fantasy, you know. And I'm like, nah. Sure enough, it broke boundaries. Once again, I'm stuck in that same position where I do not want to get off the computer. In fact, I actually fought myself to get off the computer just so I can make this video, because I've just finished playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, and quite frankly, it's amazing. It pretty much breaks down every barrier that it ever was about MMOs. Let me just jump into it real quick. First of all, there's a lot of people out there who's going to assume that you can just compare one class to the generic archetypes of role-playing games, such as, oh, look, the Jedi Knight, he must be a warrior, or, you know, the Jedi Counselor must be a healer or a mage. I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. Not only are you wrong, but you're double wrong, because the classes can actually evolve into something else later on. Let me give you a fine example. The Counselor. Now, while the Jedi Knight is definitely true, you go and start off as a Jedi Knight, and what happens basically is this. You basically have two parts of your character going on. You know, you have your strength, and then you have your defense. We're talking about the Jedi Knight for right now. Now, what happens is that at a point, you get to choose two different advanced classes, and this one's the Guardian or the Sentinel. Now, the Sentinel will upgrade your offense dramatically, giving you many more offensive moves, and the Guardian will give you a lot of defensive moves and up your defense. Same thing with if you choose a Trooper. When you choose a Trooper, you have a choice between the Vanguard or the Commando. Now, the Commando gives you, basically with a Trooper, troopers are known for two things, their armor and their guns, right? So with the Trooper, the Vanguard will give you more armor, while the Commando will give you more, you know, of your guns, you know, pretty much like that. Pretty much like that. Now, the Counselor is actually pretty cool too. A Counselor has the ability to go, I believe it's Shadow, or it goes, is it Shadow or Mage? I think it is. Or Sage rather. Same thing with its counterpart, which is an Inquisitor, a Sith Inquisitor. Now, it's really cool too. Now, because a lot of people, for those who watch the Star Wars movie, let you know right now, the Sith Inquisitor can also become like a strong mage character. Not mage character, wrong choice of words. A strong force wielding character, very familiar to Darth Sidious. If you remember correctly, Darth Sidious did use his lightsaber, but he was much more powerful when it came to using the Force. Go vice versa to Darth Maul. Darth Maul was actually an Inquisitor too. He was, I believe they call him Shadows. So, yeah, he really was. So, and a lot of people are like, what? What? Yeah, yes, he really was. Dual lightsaber wielding. He used the Force a lot more than most other people did actually use it. Most Jedi Knights used it. He was a Shadow. At any rate, though, or if he wasn't in real Jedi lore, in this one, he would be compared to this. And yes, the Shadows, even though they start off as Inquisitors, the Shadows they do more offensive damage. It's a really good game. It's a really good game. Now, that aside, though, let's turn over to the story. That's one of the things I like about the game the most, is that the story, even though you're doing the quests that you expect to do with any RPG, you know, whether it be MMO or otherwise, you know, nonetheless, you are still doing it, but you have more of a voiceover to kind of get you through that, to kind of make it feel more refreshed, more better, you know? That being said, though, you're not killing rats in the basement, and that's one of the things I'm loving, or killing rats in the field or anything like that. In fact, depending on which class you choose from the beginning is how you start off. Let me give you a plain example. As a trooper, literally from the beginning of the game, you are in the thick of battle. You know, you are right there in the fray, fighting for your life, which was excellent. You know, while at the same time, as a Jedi Knight or Jedi Consular, Jedi Padawan, should I just say, you start off talking to your master, getting to know your master, and preparing to go to descent into a situation that's down below. You know, so and then with the smuggler, you have I think sorry, hurt my pool. Trying to figure out what's going on out there. Anyway, so yeah, definitely one of the things that's just going on right there. It's a really, really, really good situation right now in terms of storyline. Now, in terms of the quality of the game, let's talk about graphics first. Graphics are fantastic in the game. Now, a lot of people might be turned off by the stylized version of it, but I gotta say it fits it perfectly. Coruscant looks exactly like Coruscant. There are no, there are, I'm sure there are, but you can't really tell the backgrounds, because everything you think is background might not be a background, especially when you jump into a cab and the cab starts driving, you realize, oh damn, I thought that was a background, but it looks like that's actually an area. So Coruscant looks exactly like Coruscant is going to be. For those who don't know, that Coruscant in the prequels, that's where the Jedi spend most of their time in Coruscant. You know, that big city thing, or yeah, or Mandel's in there. In fact, that's where you start off as a trooper and as a smuggler. There are many other planets in there. I've yet to see like Hoth or anything like that. But so far, so good, especially with the graphics. I'm loving the graphics. In terms of animation, things like that. And let me put it to you this way. When you choose a Jedi Knight, he swings his lightsaber differently from a Sith warrior, who also swings his lightsaber differently from a what do you call those things? Sith Inquisitor, who also differently from his from the Jedi Consular. You understand what I mean? Like, they could have really just said, okay, well, let's just do a regular attack, and just could have just got real lazy with it. They didn't. They didn't do lazy at all. They actually went ahead and had everyone do their lightsaber moves differently. So you have the Jedi who, does this, he has style with his lightsaber, so he's, like that. Where the Consular is more, she's a little bit more fluent with her lightsaber movements, I noticed, At the same time, the Inquisitor is more like, almost as if they're like trying to kill you with the first strike. And then finally you have the warrior who, like, every move he's doing, he looks like he's trying to decapitate you, Really, really, really good move by BioWare to make sure that they made all that differently. Right now I'm loving the Trooper right now. The Trooper storyline is really good. I'll give you a real touch on that too. Basically what's going on is that the Trooper, mind you that they don't have a lot of lore to go by when it comes to Trooper, so they kind of have to make it up as they go. But if you are a fan of Mass Effect 2, then you might want to go ahead and check this one out. Let me go ahead and drop it on you real quick. Long story short, you are part of a group called Havoc Squad, where you want to go ahead and basically you are a new part of Havoc Squad, very similar to Halo Reach, actually. You're a new member of this group. However, at the end, though, they're sending you on different missions to do. Never as a group. I found that kind of disturbing. Never as a group. Nonetheless, though, you do go in there, and then the killer is, though, in the end, you kind of find out that, well, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but let's just say it's kind of surprising, maybe not. Well, I'll actually ruin it for you guys. Long story short, Havoc Squad goes the way of the dark side, if you will. So now, they pretty much has left you to die. They try to get you killed. It didn't work. So now you and another member of Havoc Squad who originally, the only two members of Havoc Squad who did not go over to the bad guys, now it's up to you to go ahead and get revenge on your team while going ahead and following the orders of the military. It's like a military lifestyle thing going on there too. I mean, it's a really, really good move. The Jedi Knight is really good too. I played a lot of the Jedi Knight. I played pretty much a good amount of all the classes, but I spent a lot of time on the Trooper and the Jedi Knight the most. And it wasn't until I actually got to play the Jedi Consular that I was like, I like this one much better, But that's just my own opinion now. But I'll tell you this. The Jedi Consular story is more like she's like more like a background character to the point where she's kind of going different places. How about that? She's kind of going different places and, you know, kind of exploring different areas. How do I put this? She's more infiltration, where the Jedi Knight is more like front lines, you know? So that's definitely one thing. I also got my ship. It took a while. I got my ship at level. You get your advanced class at level 10, and then you go to Coruscant. And then in Coruscant, you spend about 4 levels there, maybe 5, depending on how you do. After that, you go ahead and get your ship. When you get your ship, though, the ship actually controls, like, imagine playing Star Fox, but with the mouse. You know, it plays just like that. And a lot of people's like, whoa, that's actually it kind of works. It kind of works. I'm not sure how it works. But then again, a lot of people don't know this, but there was actually lots of Star Wars games in the arcades just like that. You know, in fact, it reminds me a lot of a game that I know called Freelancer, which it controls very similar to Freelancer, except for it's a rail shooter, not a full range motion shooter. So that's kind of a bad thing. Nonetheless, though, the game is still hot. It has lots of content with it. This is kind of like the first game I've ever played that came with DLC. Like, seriously, it feels like it came with expansion packs. And mind you, I've only scratched the surface of it. I haven't gone to the Outer Rims, or I haven't gone to the Uncharted spaces, or I haven't gone to the Sith area, things of that nature. I've only been in one space battle. I got the gist of it pretty much, but this might be a little more to it. And so far I'm very happy with myself. I couldn't be more happy with the game. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and cancel my pre-order and go ahead and re-pre-order the collector's edition, just so one, I can unbox it, and 2, I can go ahead and just get the collection edition. Not only that, but I also plan to get the Razer Star Wars keyboard and mouse and all that. I definitely want to get those. I've actually always wanted to get those. So now I'm like, ooh, I might actually get this for real now, So, long story short, if I had to rate the game, honestly, I'm going to put it to you this way. The game doesn't quite reach Game of the Year 100%. In terms of but let me put it to you this way. It's damn sure close to it. In fact, it'll beat out a lot of games out there. Pretty much I think Uncharted 3 and Batman might be the only games that I know that might beat this game. Everything else, no. Let me see what else. I'm dead serious. And yes, that includes Battlefield. What else? I got 3 minutes here. I'm trying to think of something. 2 minutes, rather. Let me think of something else. Oh, companions. Companion characters. Oh, my God. I can't believe I missed this one. One of my companion characters I love is the fact that the companion characters actually, they kind of have 2 functions. Number 1, they can go ahead and fight with you, of course. But the second function they have is you can actually send them on their own missions to go ahead and do stuff. And then depending on what kind of missions you send them to, they can go ahead and bring stuff back. For example, you can send them out to go ahead and mine for core, or not mine for ore, obviously, because I meant ore, not core, but mine. I'm just giving an example ore because it's like different things, like splice and things of that nature. But you can go ahead, and have them go out searching for metal components, while you're actually not doing anything. And not only that, but you can actually log off the computer. Now, this is what I did last night. I actually wanted to find out if this works, so I actually told my character to go, the guy who's with me, to go ahead, my companion, if you will, to go ahead and go get me some stuff from some metal scrappings from Planet, right? So I did that, and then I went in and shut off the game. And I totally forgot about it. And the next day I came back and started playing, and it was like, bang! It was right there waiting for me, And I was like, oh, So it's definitely a good game. I'm out of time right now. I spent 15 minutes just talking about this game. It's that good. I'm about to go play it again. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that. I definitely will be playing it. I don't know what server I'm going to be on yet, but I'm going to take a look at the servers and hopefully make a decision soon. You guys have a good night. Zeph out.